Fellow heroes and Force users of all ages, hello there, and welcome back to Inside the Tauntaun, a podcast in the multiverse of fandom. I'm Daniel Dawson, and I'm joined by my dear friends and fellow non-Skrulls, Alyssa Simmons.
Hello.
And Dino Nicandros.
I didn't confirm I wasn't one.
Well, that's embarrassing. Today, we are discussing the final two episodes of Marvel's Secret Invasion. The episodes entitled Harvest and Home were directed by Ali Salim. And by God, we're probably not Skrulls. At least, Alyssa and I. And also, we're Marvel fans.
I don't know who you are or where you came from.
I am Iron.
I thought they smelled bad. On the outside.
Smells like a new car in here.
Inside the Tauntaun, this is our opening song. Alyssa, Daniel, Dino, talking nerd stuff, come along. Inside the Tauntaun podcast, please like and subscribe.
Well, gang,
We've reached the end.
that was Secret Invasion.
That was it. The penultimate and the finale.
And the ultimate.
Oh man. Did they stick the landing?
No.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us.
All right, bye-bye.
That was easy.
No, but seriously, no.
Yeah. I didn't if we're just going to jump right to it, cuz
I feel like this is the most negative we've been about any Marvel. I mean, we were pretty negative about Thor.
yeah, well,
But-
and as far as the TV series, I think that we've gone down the negative route numerous times before. We'll at least be like, but at least there was this positive thing.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't feel like we're really saying but at least very much with this.
Yeah,
one.
I do feel like maybe this might be the least but at least that we've added to our podcast, which is a shame. I don't know.
Look, I think it's the most disappointing in my mind because, like I said,
you had really high hopes for this.
I wanted this to be my favorite.
Yeah, and I think that they also set it up to like I even think I don't know if Disney actually said this or not, but like they were being like, oh, this is gonna be like Marvel's Andor, and it was like, whoops, that's not what it is, even a little bit.
Who was saying that?
Yeah, I don't know, some idiot, some fool, some fake person, sister Mary fake.
Yeah, I don't know. I just
If you know that reference, I'd give you major brownie points.
I don't know it.
Really? Oh.
No. I don't
Yeah,
think I do.
Sister Act 2.
Thank you.
Sister
Oh my
Act 1.
gosh,
Yeah.
coming in that yet.
Good job, everybody.
Go with Gold Crispy.
that line I know.
You get that one. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that
I think therefore I
there were some like cool moments, but
Mhm.
like
Oh, certainly.
yeah, I giggled aloud when we saw Gaia's Drax
Me
arm.
too. My God, I'm so glad you brought that up.
Can we
It literally made me
can we
laugh
now
out loud.
acknowledge
So
that
funny.
currently G'iah
It wasn't supposed to be funny.
No, obviously not.
is currently the most powerful character in
in the
Marvel
entire
universe.
MCU.
They literally broke the MCU. I don't know how they manage G'iah. You know what I mean? Like she's kind of a loose cannon as it is, and she now is the most powerful.
She's a combination of all of the Avengers DNA.
What the
plus-
heck?
plus-
and
some.
Thanos and the Black Order and
Yeah, it's
Like-
it's a choice. It's a really
I mean,
interesting choice.
You know, the writers still like, you know, have the I mean, you know, once we finally break free of this the strike and everything, but like the writers have the ability to you know, write whatever comes to their imagination. So I mean, like they could explain why she, you know, has some sort of, you know, she might have the powers, but they're like the diet versions of each of them because, you know, I don't know. There's
It didn't seem like it in that
No,
battle. It
I
didn't
know.
seem. I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's It's weird. I felt really, really weird about that.
Yeah, but truly though, like it was the beefy arm
The
part
Drax,
where
the
she
Drax like
flexed her
miniature,
arm.
the Drax miniature arm killed me.
Which also like the size of it too, I think, and it's just it all felt very like, you know, CGI, and unfortunately not
Well,
very
and
good
like,
CGI.
why are we having like one arm as one person, one arm as the other,
Yeah, and I
Captain
feel-
Marvel eye? Like, why are we doing that? Like,
It's
And
just
how would she know? How would she know to use
right.
Well,
I
you're
don't-
no,
to
you're
rotate between them?
Well, you know, you're exactly like, because unless she like also gained like the memories of all these people. I mean, I know that she's a Skrull, and I know that that's like part of what they do when they like, you know, take on the character of somebody. They sort of take on
Yeah, I
part
guess
of their
you're.
memories.
That's yeah.
But
and
I mean,
she's like, go, 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 Drax arm.
yeah, yeah, because I'm just trying to figure out like how in the world, because like, you know, we followed all of the you know, at least a lot of the superhero films that we followed have been like the origin stories, you know, and they always have like a section or a montage where they're like, oh my god, these powers are so new, I don't know how to use them, and then they have to fail before they succeed, you know what I mean? But she just like got up and used like 3 different things at the same time and was just like really fucking good at it. It was just like, but how? It just felt like it was for the sake of cool.
Yeah, I think so.
Man, and it wasn't.
And it didn't feel cool. There
At
was
all.
there was like maybe
Well,
like
and I was really like afraid of Gravik. The whole, like, especially the last couple episodes. Like I was scared of him.
he's unhinged and like, you know,
Yeah, he is
not
real
afraid to kill
scary,
anybody,
and like, and so to have it just
Ah.
kind of like happen like in a 45-second sequence was weird.
Well, I mean, you know, money though.
Yeah.
Which they spent $215 million on this series.
Oh, wow, wee.
So
Yeah, and I think that I mean, we've said this before. I know that that this is another one of those shows that experienced sort of a you know, a little hardship with the pandemic. But I mean, we've like all of the shows so far have been pandemic shows, like as far as I know, and or at least have been affected by the pandemic in some way. And you know, at least the other ones were, well, I shouldn't say all of them, but we've had some that have been, you know, at least believe they've all struggled to at least a certain extent. We can't say that.
It's just the time we're living in right now.
Yeah,
so.
it is the time, and I can't say that like truly, like, can you go back to like any of the Disney Plus series so far and just say that we've had one like really perfect entry?
I'd say
like,
Loki.
Yeah,
Loki-
I don't think
Loki
we
was
had.
pretty close.
I don't think we had much to say about Loki or WandaVision.
There was like maybe 1 or 2 episodes where we were kind of like, yeah, we didn't. That was a little bit of a filler, but
WandaVision,
that was probably
I think,
the closest.
WandaVision, our expectations got in the way. I
Yeah.
think WandaVision is a great show, and I think Loki is
I
a
agree.
great show.
I totally agree with that.
I thought Falcon Winter Soldier was good.
Yes.
You could tell which parts were perhaps repurposed in the wake of the pandemic, but ultimately I really liked that show. Miss Marvel was pretty good.
Yeah, it was fine.
It was fine.
Yeah, it was fine.
She-Hulk was not as fine.
No. Yeah, that one was not. That one was
Hawkeye?
not great at all for me.
I enjoyed Hawkeye.
Yeah, you liked Hawkeye.
It was a
was
little
fine with it.
uneven, but I liked Hawkeye.
Hawkeye was fun.
Yeah, I think obviously like nothing, and we've said this before on here, like nothing is going to be exactly perfect all the
No.
way through.
You shouldn't expect it to be perfect either, because that ruins the
No,
experience.
I just like, yeah, having read these comics and been really excited for this series.
Well, yeah, and you have a very unique, you know, point of view in that regard.
Yeah, I don't
have any
think
attachment to it at all.
I don't think they stuck it.
Yeah.
Well, so let's look at it from the Nick Fury perspective, because they could have just called this show Nick Fury.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
From where we find him and where he begins
Mm-hmm.
to where we end,
Was there a
do
journey?
we think was there a suitable arc?
For him, sure. I think so.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. I don't know that it's like mind-blowing or revolutionary or anything, but I think like I think Nick Fury went through
I think
I
it
think-
was maybe
I
sort
think
of
he went through an arc.
sort
in
of
this
like tying up a loose end for him, you know, a pretty giant loose end, but like not really 100% fulfilling that either. So it's like it feels like we're still in the middle of the arc. I guess the only real arc that maybe he complete, but even then, I mean, like with his wife,
It's still we're still in like limbo with them.
yeah. There was a lot of stuff that happened at the end that felt like, wait, what? I mean, actually, I did like that was part of the part that was enjoyable for me. It got a little confusing here and there, but like the sort of very like Godfather-esque like flashing between all the people getting like murdered at the end, you know, like that was kind of exciting because it was like, oh my god, this is happening so fast. Oh my god, that guy was really important. Oh my god, they just shot that poor lady and she's not even a Skrull. Oh my god, like there was some very like it started to get really exciting and I was like, okay, this is cool.
At the very end.
At the very end.
Like the last like 2 minutes of the whole show.
Right, and then there was the weird part where she, like, you know, our favorite lady in the show, like, walked into the room with all of the you know, the like gurneys of humans that were like in a coma, skull coma, and like she said something random which didn't seem to make. I have many questions about that because like they didn't really explain at all what that was. She's like, she said something like, "This is how they got so good," and I was just like, "It is, but why?"
And if it's how they got so good, why were they using the other like Skrullos like compound if what they actually have set up are these like super duper? I don't know.
I guess maybe something tells me that like there is like numerous factions.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me.
I
Sure.
guess, and maybe like they're like that would be sort of like a tease for a season 2 where like, oh, you may thought that we have dealt with all of them, but that was just one of the factions. Stay tuned. I'm obsessed with her, and I think that like I want to see more of her character, but like the setup between her and G'iah at the end, I don't know. It could be great, but I'm just worried because like she is so OP now, and I had the same worry about Captain Marvel in general, about her being so overpowered.
Yep.
But G'iah is like that, and yeah, I don't know where they go with that. It's just
And they've already kind of, you bring up Miss Marvel, they've already kind of figured out a way to nerf that a little bit.
Sure.
By the very plot line of the Marvels, in which any time any of them
Sure.
use their powers, they switch bodies.
Totally.
So,
Yeah.
which can be.
And by the way, we watched
Incredibly
Daniel and I watched the second trailer together when we were at Comic-Con.
Mhm.
And
oh yeah, we went to Comic-Con, by the way.
we did.
Yes.
We can talk about that in a minute.
Yeah.
But yeah, the second trailer made me like really excited for the Marvels. Like I was like, oh, okay,
It was a much better trailer.
yeah, I was like, okay, this is what this movie is gonna like feel like and be about, not
Yeah.
just like, you know,
It looks like we got a bad
Kamala
guy.
Khan like being like, like, and she's cute, but like we can't have a whole movie of that. That's
I don't
gonna
know if it
that's
was
gonna
just-
annoy me.
I don't know if that was just me or the internet or something, but like when you imitated Kamala Khan, you completely went silent.
Well, maybe that happened to you too. Do you know? Well, I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
I
redo.
did- I
I'm not
didn't
gonna
hear
redo it.
any-
Aw, dang it!
Damn it. Well, I'll
That's
hear
so
it on the
funny.
raw audio when I edit
Like,
You
this.
honestly,
will.
that was the best impression I've ever heard.
Oh, it probably wasn't the internet. It was probably Zoom. Because you know how Zoom, when
Oh,
like something
sure.
spikes
It was
super
Zoom.
loud,
It
it
was
just
Zoom.
like just mutes it for you.
Sure. I had to turn that up because my voice is always spiking.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very
The
loud.
fact
We need to like install a
we've been-
limiter on
Yes.
Daniel's voice.
Yes.
Go ahead, Dino.
But the fact we've been leading up to this Skrull storyline for about
Mhm.
5 years now, and this is how it seemingly is resolved, at least in large part.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't sit well with me.
Well,
'Cause
yeah, I don't.
It
I
had
don't-
the potential to be such a I don't know. I could have seen it
sound like they
spilling
really
it.
solved anything. Honestly, it's just like they
No,
just
other
created
than
the-
that,
Yeah,
like
but
that one compound and Gravik are gone.
Well, yeah, and they've also just created another giant problem, which is the fact that the fucking like president of the United States is like, all aliens must die. I didn't say that,
Yeah.
but I mean, you know,
He did
Um,
basically.
yeah,
no, he did, and
he wants to.
you're
build
right.
a
Nothing's been resolved, but
wanna build
at
a
the same
wall!
time,
Perfect place to hide.
Sorry. Go
but
ahead.
at the same time, we have I don't know, anything they do from here on out is
Yeah.
kind of a rehash of what we just saw, which is the do we trust them or do we not?
Sure.
Yeah.
And I don't. It leads me into my next point about.
Do you care?
Well, I don't know. I don't know if I do.
I mean, true. I
Anymore.
mean, like as far as the emotional impact that this show had, and I think I said this before in the numerous episodes that we did already. Like I never felt my heart like being pulled in any direction. I think I like bit my fingernails a couple times because I was like you know, a little bit like anxious about like certain like circumstances. I think like the part where the they were gonna set off the nuclear bomb. I was just like, ooh,
Sure.
because you know, countdown things always make me nervous. It's just in the nature of the thing. And then also, I think towards like the very, very end of the episodes where they were showing everybody getting murdered like so fast.
Yeah, and that was always the compelling bit, and I think that's what the first couple of episodes did really well, was
Mhm.
really ratchet up the tension. And
Mm-hmm.
but
Show that nobody is safe.
by halfway through, Maria Hill and Talos are dead, and I'm
Yeah.
kind of like, but why?
And yeah, what for? Right. You know. Yeah.
I mean, there was no real impact. Now you've taken two really great characters off the board.
Right.
Um,
I mean, you could kind of maybe say, but I think the G'iah was already on her way to switching sides as it was. But
yeah.
like,
You could see
say
it coming a mile away.
You could say that maybe that the death of Talos, like, you know, guided her more towards the light, I guess. But you know, as far as what's her face goes, I mean, like her death was more just like a shock factor.
Maria. Yeah. Well, and the journey Nick was supposed to go on was, I let these people down.
Mhm.
I'm going to try to make up for it.
You're gonna dot
And
my
then
I's, cross my
and
T's.
then kind of in a secondary theme is, well, I can't do this by myself. I've always thought of myself as somebody who can tackle the world's problems
Mhm.
alone. But we've already seen that arc with Nick Fury, and it was kind of borne out through his relationship with Captain America. Like, I'm thinking particularly in Winter Soldier, where he basically tells Cap, "You're the boss now," because Shield was a joke. And I feel like we've done this with Nick already, where
Sure.
he's had to kind of put his pride to the side. And
Yeah. I think that that's I mean, I do totally agree with you. I think that this is a thing that happens with Nick Fury in the comics, like over and over and over again. So maybe they're just like, we're fine doing it like that in the MCU. I don't know.
I kind of thought, like, for a moment well, because like G'iah was doing an excellent job of her acting abilities as Nick Fury. She
Coughing from the
you're like,
radiation.
oh, I'm hurting so bad. This radiation, ouch. But yeah, she had me believed. And then so I was thinking, oh, okay, now Nick Fury is gonna be a fucking like super human. I'm curious if your feelings would have been similar had a Nick Fury
If he would have become a super super person.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I think I would have been equally as like annoyed.
Like you're like, how do they nerf this? Like, I mean, I know that Nick Fury is like a pretty trustworthy guy and everything, but like now he's like the most powerful person in the MCU. Like, and
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
It left me it left me wanting for something else.
Something else. Yeah, because I think that you in these shows where you get more time, because they could have made this into a film. I think we even talked about that too. Like, would have this been a better film? And the answer, for at least for me, is like almost definitely yes. I think they could have made a better movie
they would
out of
have
this.
packed the storyline and upped the stakes and made some more things that make sense. And had it been like 2 hours, 2.5, like
yeah. Make it like a Mission Impossible or like a or whatever. Like, but give it more. Give it more. But I mean, like in this where we have this like spread out, like we have the time to explain certain things. Like I feel like there was more that they could have given us. I think more explanation for lots of things. I mean, like, my God, Rhodey. We haven't really talked about even Rhodey yet, and the fact that he's
implication here. The implication here is that he's been switched out since after Civil War,
which is like
based on what he was wearing.
Oh my God!
He was wearing his surgery gown.
Oh right, yes, right.
Okay. Another article I read
after
said
he got injured.
Another article I read said post Endgame. Red said
post Endgame. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess it's he could have gone back to the hospital for who knows.
That's
what.
my hope. My hope is post Endgame, but he was wearing whatever he was wearing when he got the MRI done.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he was he had to go back into the hospital to get like his prostate checked or who knows what.
Well, so look, I'm of two minds about this. On the one hand, I really hope that's not the case, because that cheapens his whole arc in Endgame. All the wholesome interactions he got with Nebula, and then of course with Tony right at the end.
Totally.
Yes.
On the other hand, if he has been a Skrull since right after Civil War, it does ratchet up the stakes of Armor Wars considerably.
Yeah,
because he is now coming back into consciousness, not having known the blip even happened.
Yep.
Not knowing
that's
Tony's
wild.
dead.
Yeah. I mean, I'm. This is a like kind of a harsh thing, but like I Armor Wars, I think, was the one that I was like very much like the least excited for, and because I just don't know what other story they need to tell with that character. But I mean that's a pretty huge thing. I mean, it does sound like a lot of rehash, but like, and they probably could get all that done in maybe like one episode, but like, but it definitely gives him. That gives him a really great springboard to like start from, for sure, as far as like an arc goes. And it'll be refreshing to see, a nicer Rhodey, because we've been seeing this like real douchebag side of Rhodey lately, and I'm like, I miss the nicer one.
And it occurred to me, if I had my hands on the wheel and I was writing for, say, this series and then for Armor Wars, you know who I would have made a Skrull?
Who?
Sharon Carter.
Oh, that would be cool. That'd be really cool, actually.
Because there's been this long-standing idea since Falcon and Winter Soldier that her jump from who she was to Power Broker
was
bizarre. While it does make sense, it makes sense to me, but perhaps it was a little it strained people's credulity a little bit.
Sure.
What if
I could get on board with that.
she had been a Skrull, and then it opens up this whole world of now Skrulls are trafficking in human weapons. Now you have a kind of a more organic and interesting threat, and I think it also gives the chance to maybe see the Sharon we used to know come back as well.
Sure. Yeah,
But
I like
anyway,
that
I
idea
digress. But
That'd be cool.
Rhodey's interesting. I don't know. I
When
don't.
when is Armor Wars on the?
Well,
on
so
the,
they were
like,
supposed to start
timeline?
shooting they were supposed to start shooting at the end of this year.
a lot. That's not
Okay.
gonna happen.
I think it's
Yeah.
gonna be a 2026 release. But
Okay.
as far, are you asking like in the Marvel timeline where it is?
No,
that's
I
a-
just meant like release timeline.
Okay, yeah, I think 2026 is probably the safest bet now.
Okay.
Yeah. And assumedly, it's gonna be like post this show. I think, because I mean,
Yeah, I think so.
it'd be weird.
Yeah, that'd be super weird
Yeah,
otherwise.
let's watch what the Skrull did this whole time. You know? Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know.
And I guess so.
Who cares? That guy.
It's part of
that
the
lady's
frustration
dead now.
is the series left the Skrulls maybe in worse shape than they were before.
Yeah.
And then there was
totally.
this discussion how the Kree have
Oh, right.
Agreed to some
want to
sort of
broker a
peace
peace
treaty.
deal. I was
Yeah.
like, oh come on. I mean,
That's
no,
not
they
gonna go
didn't.
well.
There's no way. There's no way.
And as you said, Daniel, the president has officially kicked these people off of planet Earth. So I suppose
And I guess that could sort of like set the stage for the the
Captain America and
Oh, yes, that, and also potentially for the mutants too, because it's just like
Yeah.
we're starting to see the prejudice of
well,
the
and
world.
does this push? I mean, maybe I'm building too big here, and that's something we've always unfortunately done. I think we have grander designs than are ever fully realized. But does this push the Skrulls into the camp of the Wakandans and the Namor's people?
Oh,
Yeah.
To
Yeah. Are
maybe
they all
all of
going to
the
be?
ostracized
together.
forces against.
very
Yeah, I could see that.
plausibly, very
I could see that.
plausibly.
I mean, they really set that up in the post credit of
the
Wakanda
Taliban,
Forever.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with him. I think we talked about that last week.
Right.
Him being like, "Don't worry, like we're playing the long game. We need them."
So maybe you can kind of organically include the Skrulls in that way.
Mhm.
But Nick goes back to space, and
Right.
which is seemingly
he's-
that's
he's
where
gotta
he'll
go
be
get-
for the Marvels.
Yeah, I was like,
and,
is he got to go get ready for Miss Marvel?
Guess so.
and we don't actually know much about the plot of the Marvels aside
second-
from their power switching.
Yeah, the second trailer kind of dipped a little bit more into that. Like it
But
seems.
what- You could assume maybe they'll pick up some Skrull storylines because they were so they were introduced in her first movie, so you'd have to
Right.
think maybe
It's
she'll
gonna be
step
something. Yeah.
in.
Yeah. Well, were there any parts of this series that you enjoyed?
Olivia Colman as
Yeah,
Sonya
obviously.
Fallsworth.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
She's so funny, and she doesn't like. She's not even like doing anything. She's existing. Like, and it's wonderful.
I would love to see more of her,
Yeah.
kind of akin to seeing like how we see Agent Ross every now and again. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, that
She's
that,
too
that
good
feels
to
like
be
she's gonna pop up in
She-
some movies.
I
and
feel like
stuff.
she's gonna be kind of like like head to head with Val.
Oh
Could be.
yeah, that's a scene I want to see.
that could be
yeah.
a really fun dynamic.
Yeah.
I could easily see the two of them kind of going toe to toe, like, like, oh, you think you're hot stuff.
Interesting.
That would be the exact line
That is
too.
exactly what they would say.
There was a little bit fake when Fake Rhodey was trying to convince the president to act
oh my god,
against the
his-
Skrulls. He said he made a point and said that's some first term president stuff
Oh,
or
uh-huh.
one term president
Yep.
stuff.
Sure.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah, that was
which
not accidental.
I think we're setting the stage for Thunderbolt Ross's election.
Yeah.
And And the
He's like, you
Skrulls,
want to be
interestingly,
protected,
being it.
like you need me, kind
Right.
of thing. Yeah, using fear mongering and all that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's interesting. I also I think I laughed out loud. Like the script choices for him, like
For Rhodey or for the president?
for Rhodey. He said
Yeah.
he's like, you gotta be like a stupid poopy head or something. I don't know. He said something that was like very
And this general is just kind of
yeah, to this
taking it.
general.
I was like,
yeah,
God.
this lady general.
Yeah,
was
that
like,
was so weird.
How
How was no one like, what?
you're
What's
acting
happening
kind of funny,
here?
Rhodey, and you don't run this town. You should sit your ass down and take a seat. Yeah, something felt.
Obviously the Russians, so we just should go kill the Russians.
Yeah, stop being so stupid about it. Like, I think, but it's interesting because like, I think at least I was sort of being led to believe that he was speaking a different way in this show because he's a Skrull, and we're supposed to like know that like, oh, we're supposed to be like, cautious about him because we like at least before we knew that he was a Skrull.
Yeah.
But then you think about like they're trying to make us believe that he's been a Skrull like for a long effing time, so like it just doesn't match up for me. Like how he used to speak and how he speaks now. I know he was kind of like
That's why I feel like he probably has only been a Skrull post Endgame.
maybe not as long as we think. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. That seems like so far fetched to me.
I know.
But-
Same. Because
when we've, I mean, I know. Yeah, I don't know if they are gonna tell us that he truly has been a Skrull this whole time. I'm gonna need they got some splaining to do because
Lucy.
it just feels really forced. And like you said, he hasn't been acting weird until this television show. So
yeah, I mean, like he's always been kind of like a hard, like
hard one to read.
Well, yeah, maybe a hard one to read, but also just like not afraid to like say it out like how it is, like, and he's a little more like he could be a little more harder on his friends because like he's like, I'm gonna give you the harsh truth kind of thing. But like this Skrull Rhodey was doing it in a way that was just like exceedingly rude and like over the top, like, and like sometimes childish, and like it just felt
and I suppose the
very
justification
weird.
for that could be that like he was like flailing because
he got a little desperate, because
he was like we have to handle this now, like
getting a little worried that it wasn't gonna work.
Yeah, when else are we gonna like have a Skrull like working right with the president?
Yeah.
Like,
oh, speaking of that too, and I'm certain this must have been. I mean, if it wasn't the pandemic issue, then I'd be like, I have more issue with it then. But the fact that they are like in this hospital with like the president of the United States, and there's like nobody in there.
no one in the hospital working, you mean?
Like,
yeah.
if the president is like injured even like a little bit.
Oh yeah, like
where is
paper,
U.S. Special
cut.
Forces?
Yeah,
Like, if the
right,
president is downed in Russia, the war has already begun.
Yes,
Correct.
right.
Like,
Correct.
where is
Seriously.
everybody?
Yeah, it was a little confusing as
Where
far
is Captain
as,
America?
I know.
Where is Captain
Yeah.
America?
Yeah, literally like
Yeah.
the America. Like,
I mean, and I'm not endorsing like cameo after cameo because that should never be
No.
what lifts your show. But I was like, okay, just think this through logically. The president
is he on
has gone
vacation?
missing in Russia.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, where does this take place in the timeline? It takes place after,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So he's
Sam is Captain America.
right. So maybe he's like, and where did they leave off as far as like his relationship with like the United States in general?
He's like, I'm serving in spite of. I'm serving so as to be a beacon of what we can be.
Well, certainly, but is he like working like officially with any, like, is he a part of
I don't know if
you know
they've.
how like Captain America was part of Shield.
I think he's still freelance at this point.
Yeah,
Okay,
because
okay.
they had the big boo boo in Winter Soldier with U.S. Agent,
Right.
who was
So-
technically working for the government, and then
Right.
things went bad.
And now he, like, I guess,
And
is
now
working for the
he's-
government, kind of.
But where is
U.S. Agent?
Well, because like, right, is like the
No,
Thunderbolts.
not anymore.
Well, no. He'll.
he was
was
working
approached
for the government
quietly by Val.
Yeah,
Now
because,
he's
like
working-
Val
Join.
works for the government, so
She
like,
does.
So like technically,
Yeah, in
she's,
some
like,
capacity.
Yeah,
but
so
there's
it's
some
like,
off the books
yeah, right,
activity.
right.
But honestly, where
Yeah, great question.
Where did he go?
you know,
Is he's training? He's training. He's.
He would have been involved in this.
But
right?
it's you can't knock somebody for something that they don't know about too. So if he's not really working directly with the United States government, and if we can take,
But-
if we can take,
I mean-
Nick Fury at his word where he says, "Nah, I gotta do this alone." I'm not gonna call all
but
my
Right,
friends.
but
it
like,
would
the
be
thing is,
headline
like,
news.
oh right,
yeah, sure,
Yes.
of course.
Yeah, I think the second that it
Like
got
in the
on
world we
news-
live in, we would know within 10 minutes.
absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
I
He's
don't
like
know.
Yeah,
he's
it's-
sitting on his couch going like, yeah, watch it burn.
Well, they just went the complete opposite way that the comics went, which was like,
Where everybody was
the-
involved.
yeah, like literally every Avenger.
Everybody and their mother was in it, and
Everyone was in it because there was a full blown Skrull invasion.
but I mean,
So
that
I
that
don't know.
unfortunately that is kind of like it sounds like a that sounds like the finale of a phase, and we're like barely in the middle of one. So I think that they maybe it was kind of like
I would have called the
And-
show Nick Fury.
Yeah, then maybe
and
we
saved
just
the
should not
secret
have called,
invasion mantle
or something
maybe
for
not have called it this title.
because it was kind of you could have like introduced the idea that maybe that
Sure.
could happen at some point, but like this isn't actually it.
Yeah, I think that the show
But,
was
I mean-
mistitled, and we already talked about the fact that like they wouldn't let the director and the writers read the
Actually
comics.
comics.
So-
Whoopsies.
and it showed. And
That was a
I
mistake.
think that you could have had them read them and said like, we're not going to go with this exact plot,
Mhm.
but this
Like
is
they've done
but this is
before.
the vibe of the show. Like
Right.
like they've done with so many other projects.
Age of Ultron,
Yes,
Infinity
it's
War.
not going to be the exact plot line of that comic, but
Yep.
but
Oppenheimer.
but please use the general feel of the story. I don't know. It's
Right.
it's a bummer.
Yeah.
It's a bummer.
And then, okay, now we have this plot device, the Harvest, that gives
Right.
G'iah these unimaginable powers. And we discover
Right.
that Nick Fury had Gravik and Skrulls in the wake of the battle in Endgame collect these DNA samples. So
Yes.
another screw up by Nick Fury in the sense, if you go back to Avengers 1, when Tony and Bruce flip out when they find out he's developing weapons using the Tesseract.
Yeah.
Sure.
And that shield. So this is yet another arrogant Nick Fury moment of harvesting the abilities of all of these people. To what end?
Yeah.
Like,
right.
what were you going to do with this?
What the hell were you gonna do with that?
That's really sinister, Nick.
Uh-huh.
And he doesn't. There's no accounting for it. Like
yeah.
he kind of just happily goes back up to the space station. And it's like,
Because you can't really say that he was like doing it to like protect.
Even that
like-
scene, because he went. Sorry to interrupt you.
That's
like
fine.
he went. I'm just.
I'm used to it.
I want you to know what it feels like. So like when he has that scene with Sonya and the little vial comes out of his tombstone or whatever,
Mhm.
there's no like, yeah, like you said, Dina, like there's no like, I can't believe that I did this, but I did, and here
so
it
that's
is.
a weapon of
and,
mass
like,
destruction.
yeah,
I mean-
like how are we just immediately going into the like, let's put your leather jacket and eye patch on? Like what?
Yeah.
I guess
It is interesting. Yeah. You can't assume that he was like trying to, protect all the DNA, because I mean they could have gotten the DNA like numerous times, and anybody could have done that, I guess.
Well, I mean, I buy that. It's not far fetched to me that it could be done. Like there's,
sure,
but the why is like because
yeah,
were you? I mean, I'm trying to think logically. Would Nick, knowing the Avengers have kind of splintered, some of them are dead, and then of course Thanos and all this, like maybe I can recreate Avengers or imbue other people with their power. I mean, and kind of put my team back together.
Right.
the why is seemingly becoming less important, which is unfortunate. And I keep on, and I think I've said this like in numerous shows, not just this one. Like, well, they still have the chance to explain it down the road. Maybe in season 2, or maybe this and that. And
Well,
that,
here we are
I mean?
kicking
Like,
the can down to Armor Wars and Captain America: Brave New World and the Marvels, and it's like, well, but what if it doesn't happen then? Then where are we kicking the can?
Yeah,
like,
I want more whys. I want more.
Well,
I mean, mystery
and that's
is great and all, but but also I think I like if it's a mystery, I want to like care about it too. I think, I don't know, and I just didn't feel like I cared, unfortunately.
Well,
Not as much as
you heard it. You heard it here, folks.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's like like if if it was not set up well enough, like, because we've had a lot of kind of like what the kids are saying these days, like a lot of mid shows.
Kids need to stop saying that.
But like one after the other, like you start to kind of be like, okay, like if this one isn't good, then I'm gonna be really over it. And it was another kind of mid show, and was I think it was a big.
I mean, maybe this is another example of why Kevin Feige was pressing the slow down button.
I wasn't just this, but I mean, I'm certain.
No, I said another example.
Oh, very much another example. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even CEO Poopy Pants.
Iger. Yeah.
Yes, Walt Iger.
Well, now they're going to be forced to slow down.
Yeah, exactly.
You have no
Nothing is
choice
happening.
now. You have no choice.
Oh man, I really hope they figure their shit out.
I think they will.
They're
I mean,
still-
They have to.
Yeah.
They have no choice.
Yeah.
yeah,
They have no
they will.
choice.
They will.
But yeah, I hope it's
Kevin
sooner rather than later.
Feige, he's a smart man, and
Mhm.
he still has a lot of goodwill and capital to work with, and I mean, a great roster of actors, and so many untapped stories that they absolutely can right this ship. And I think because he is smart, he's not blind to audience reaction.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. I mean, how could you be at this?
At this point,
At this point,
especially
yeah.
with how the discourse around Secret Invasion generally is.
And Disney, I mean, Disney in general has, they've trotted this course already with Star Wars, where they like, quote unquote, listened to the fans and then reversed course and made a awful finale. So like I think that they've seen both sides of the coin, so I'm hoping that like everybody has had a collective lesson, and this time around it's actually better. God willing. I mean, listen, there has been good content out there. We got good, like, I mean, we've had in some incredible like Marvel films that have come out within the past phase. I mean, both Spider-Man
No Way Home, Shang-Chi,
Shang-Chi.
Yeah, lots of really
Wakanda Forever.
Wakanda was great.
In the Star Wars realm. We got Andor, which is freaking amazing. I mean, like there is absolutely good stuff out there. If
I think it's jarring. Not to interrupt you. I do think it's jarring though, because they've it used to be where in the first 23 movies it was kind of a Dark World and
there were
Iron
very
Man 2,
there
I
were
guess,
very
were kind of
few
considered the two.
Yeah.
And I loved Iron Man too, so
I
but
did too,
that's
yeah.
generally one that's disliked, and then Thor: Dark World, but all the others were unanimously praised. So I think it is jarring when we finally get some small holes in the ship, perhaps showing weakness. And I honestly do. I don't think it's a cop out. I do believe the sheer volume is a problem because they are
easily.
overstretching their writer rooms.
in
They're
in
overstretching
every
their VFX
capacity.
artists.
And they're not paying them enough.
No.
And that's a big problem because, like, it's like, like people, they're like, well, there's more jobs. Isn't that great? That's more opportunity for everybody. But, like,
And budgets are just
barely
ballooning
paying
out of
them.
control.
Yeah. And also time constraints, too. Saying, like, we have this deadline. You have to have it done by this date. And so so you not only have a problem with, like, pushing people to their limits, but you also are like, okay, well, in order to save time, we're actually going to, like, split this between numerous studios, so then you don't even have, like, a cohesive, like, unit working on the same thing, so it's messy. So yeah, they need to clean up shop, take the time, spend the money, and do it right. Damn it.
Right.
I know I'm so late to the party, and I'm gonna pivot here, but I texted the boys. I'm watching Jessica Jones for the first time.
Man, I love that show.
It is so freaking good.
A non-Disney.
Holy poop!
Well, and her return to the MCU, her entrance into the MCU is forthcoming from the sound of it.
Yeah. It feels like it. It feels like it. But
I think she'll make her way into Daredevil.
She'll be at the MCU. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, just every part of that show.
Jessica.
Works.
Freaking
Wow.
love.
It's great.
Well, and it's interesting, and I don't know
stellar.
how far you are in yet, Alyssa, but they do loosely tie it to the MCU. Like, the idea was it's not a Marvel Studios production, but it is
adjacent.
Yeah, the last I'm 6 episodes in to season 1, I think. I just watched the episode where like a woman hires her and she thinks she's trying to find that woman's husband cheating.
Oh.
But it was just that woman and like found out that she was a mutant.
Yeah.
And she's like, so she has a bunch of lines. She's like, I'm not gonna like Hulk out like the green, like she says, she doesn't say the Hulk out, but she's like, I'm not gonna get big like the green guy. I'm not gonna like fly through here. Like she references, and obviously the events in New York have just happened. So, so I'm really happy to be watching that right now because I'm like, oh, it's so good. And like, things can be good. Like, don't be sad.
They will be again. They will be again.
And I really wish I could watch Daredevil, but it's just too. I mean, there's even moments of Jessica Jones where I'm like, it's so violent. Daredevil, the head smashing in the car was the final straw for me.
I'm excited for the new Daredevil series, the Marvel Studios Daredevil series.
I mean, I am glad that they are slowing down before that.
Yes.
Because if we were going at the pace
Did
that we
you
are
both
right now,
watch
I would almost like venture to say that, like, I would like preemptively say that it was going to be bad.
Yeah. I know you both watched Daredevil. Did you also watch Punisher and Luke Cage and The Defenders?
Actually,
watch
no.
all of the all of the Netflix Marvel series.
I watched The Defenders. I skipped Luke Cage and The Punisher. Although I saw the original Punisher movie, which
not
has
great.
no relation, but
no
relation.
Okay. And Jessica Jones. You both watched Jessica Jones?
Yeah, definitely watched Jessica Jones and Daredevil. Although I'm kind of going crazy because I think I may have not watched the final season because I think at that point did they announce the ending of, like, because did Disney purchase that whole did Disney purchase Marvel before they ended? They purchased it before they ended Daredevil.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
I think that's why I didn't watch the last season, because I was like, I don't want to get attached. Damn it. I was already attached,
Well,
and now I'm gonna watch the ending and be pissed and upset.
And a part of me thought Secret Invasion would have been a good way to use, if they were ever going to reintroduce the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. characters.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, totally.
it would have
Mhm.
actually
Give
really
them kind
great.
of a actually solidified.
That was
role
on
in the MCU.
ABC. That was on ABC.
Yeah.
Okay.
And at the beginning of the series, like the first few seasons ran like completely in line with the MCU.
Mhm.
Yes.
And they had big specials like right after Winter Soldier and
Mhm.
directly referencing the events of those movies. But as time went on and you get near the finale, they reference what's happening on Earth. Thanos began his attack on Earth and all that, but they do everything they can to stay away from it because
Yeah.
they were writing faster than the MCU was progressing, and it kind of became its own thing
Yeah.
that referenced the MCU when it was convenient and then pretended like it was in its own universe
Thing.
otherwise. So
Mm.
I don't know.
Well.
I was trying to think about other bringing it back to Secret Invasion, but we kind of covered most of it. I mean,
Unfortunately,
I think
yeah.
we did. I don't feel like
know.
there's much more for us to really bring up.
yeah. But you know what?
What?
It's a brazzle dazzle day. No, I was thinking about our adventures at Comic-Con. It was.
Oh yeah,
we
Daniel
had
and I went. Daniel and I went to
Yes.
Comic-Con.
We did, and it was just like give you like a brief rundown. It was fun, and we like not having Hollywood there was like a bummer, but also like equally very cool because it just felt like. I mean, I don't know
felt
'cause
like
I wasn't
the-
there, but it felt like it was
yeah.
like Comic-Con like 30 years ago. you
Yeah,
know?
neither of us had
Sure.
ever been obviously to Comic-Con what pre Hollywood
Yes,
Hollywoodized.
the Hollywood invasion,
Right.
the not so
But-
secret invasion of Hollywood.
Yeah, it was really great, and like it just felt really nice. Like there were so many, like the artist's alley there was like packed. Like, and there were
Expansive, yeah,
like it was way bigger than
because they had the room for
before
it.
because they had the room, and like that just felt so cool to like actually like I if you're watching on YouTube, you can see this new art piece that I got
It's
from
gorge.
from an artist named Josh Nguyen, and yeah,
It
it
was
just
super
felt
nice too.
it was nice. Yeah, it just was like so cool to like, get to meet and see these like comic book legends.
I didn't
it-
see that comic book legend that I really disappointed last year.
Yeah, no, I think we told that story, but Daniel broke someone to their core two years ago. When
Not on purpose.
no, we just like we walked by this guy and he was like, "Can I tell you about my comic book?" And we were like, "Sure."
Yeah,
and
that
then
sounds nice.
and then he was like, "Okay, so great. You want to buy it?"
Like,
and we were
no.
like, "Oh, we're still this is really early in the day. We're walking around, and if you could jar up the the feeling that came off of him,
Oh my
it
God.
was so incredibly it was so devastating. But here's something that is important, and I hope that Daniel remembered to bring it up, but something that Daniel has been searching for many years
God.
he acquired
Oh,
at Comic-Con.
what a dream! I literally have searched every single time that I've gone so far. It's
And I
finally
have had to be
happened.
by him as he asks
Sick.
everyone.
and but you know what's so magical about it though is that there's zero judgment and everybody knows exactly what I'm talking about, and they're like,
do.
oh yeah, like literally I'm just like, okay, so I'm looking for a very specific run. It's called Batman Damned, and it's the first one, and it's the first print, not the second print, the first print. And they're like, oh yeah, Batwang or Batwang. They call it Batwang.
So the
So-
first somehow, God love DC Comics. Somehow the first printing of this comic included an actual image, an actual drawing
of Batman's penis.
Of Batman's penis.
Bat Wang. And it was
Daniel.
It's basically
Daniel has been looking for it for years since he discovered.
It is basically a historical document at this point because it is the debut. It is Batman's penis's
It is
debut.
It is the one and only time that you actually see it.
And DC was like very quickly afterwards, like, maybe this is a poor choice. So they all the prints that happened after that were all censored and were like it was like a dark shadow that they put over his crotch, which is so funny.
So we had asked a couple of
we'd asked a couple like absorbs all light.
It's just a light sucker. So I think it was maybe the third or fourth booth that I had asked. And like Daniel said right off the bat, the guy was like, "Oh yeah, we have it."
And like, what? No.
And he was like, "Yeah, we do." And he asked his business partner, and he was like, "Oh, we had 3, but I sold them yesterday."
Yeah,
or I sold like 2 I sold 2 yesterday and 1 this morning.
It's all the rage.
And so we were like, "Oh wow!" And he was the one that told us that everyone knows it as Batwang. And then we walked away. Like we were over at the next booth about to ask.
Down, yeah. Mm-hmm. And then he came down like, "The beacons have been lit!" Like running. Gondor calls for aid. Like literally came to us and was just like, "Wait, I have one right here." And I'm like, "Oh my God." And
but he was only selling it in the whole entire run, which is 3 different volumes.
Yeah, 3 volumes, yes.
So Daniel, how much did you pay to get this item
for Batman's penis? But
for Batwang.
Honestly,
but you know what though? To be honest, I think I got a pretty good deal because all of the other ones that I've seen on eBay are just selling the number 1
issue,
and not 2 and 3. Granted, number 2 and 3 are worth nothing. But
are you actually going to read them?
Of course I am. But
good, okay.
But yeah, having all 3 definitely adds to the
Did you look at it yet? Did you finally look at it?
I'm afraid to open it. I want to make sure that my hands are nice and clean.
Oh my gosh! You've had it for a whole week.
I have.
Get some latex gloves and get to work.
I get to work. That sounds very nasty.
Well,
it does.
You are gonna record a reaction video.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So I because it's a very special moment. So I want to make sure that it we do it right. So
yeah.
So stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
You're gonna want to like and subscribe for that.
For the Batman.
But yeah, we got some really fun goodies, and we both got the Neverending Story
emblem,
the amulet.
Turn around, look at what you see.
And a couple of different Comic-Con exclusives through that were comics, and I got a run of Lock and Key, which I'm really excited about. I didn't get them. I didn't get the runs. But yeah, we had a fun time. Saw some cool panels and
made some new friends.
Made some friends and lines, and
I got to. I think I'm pretty sure my favorite 2 panels were one that we thought we weren't going to get into. Well, no, I shouldn't say we. I should say
Alyssa
Little
did
Miss
not.
Pessimist was she was oh, we're never gonna make it.
We were so far back. I did not see a world.
We are going to make it into this, and you're gonna love it. And so we sat there, and it, we were still very far back, and it had already started 10 or 15 minutes prior, and I was sticking to it. I was like, no, we're staying in this line because it's still moving. We're gonna fucking get into this. Damn, it was the Weta, Lord of the Rings.
I saw you posted about it. Yeah, very cool.
And because I'm obsessed and I wanted to see them, and the guy in front of us was even more of the most.
Oh, he was worse than me.
Oh,
he was
way worse. Yeah, and I was I kept on being stop it, don't say that. It's we're not gonna get. I was well, with that attitude, I kept on verbally abusing this man until he finally got out of line. He
left the line,
which he was in front of us. So get this shit. We were literally the last 2 people to make it in.
they were like, we have room for 3 more, and then the line is cut. So it was the guy in front of us and then us too. So we
But
were literally the last 2 people to get in there.
Yeah, I made him feel bad about himself.
I have a
enough.
permanent
Good man.
crick in my neck from that panel because we were so far to the side. I was like,
part of the side, yes. But yeah, that one, and I also got to see Critical Role live, which I thought was pretty cool because I had to really enjoy them a lot. And poor Alyssa, she came with me, and she's like, "Great, I don't know what the hell this is about, but
no, I mean, like, I play D&D, so I know somewhat what they're talking about, but I don't watch their stream or anything. So
Right.
what they were talking about meant nothing to me, but I was there to support Daniel in that moment.
And we also got to see like what was it, Olympia?
Oh yeah, that was an accident. That was an accident.
Yeah. 'Cause-
Anyways.
but we enjoyed the air conditioning. It was
Well,
lovely.
I'm very jealous.
I
Yeah, we
know,
missed
we
ya.
wish you would have been there. Damn it.
Hopefully next year you can come.
Next year. But yeah, it was a grand old time.
Mhm.
And now we're
Delightful.
what's next? What's happening?
Well, I think we're
Wow.
entering Ahsoka season
Ahsoka.
here.
Oh, Ahsoka, my life.
So we had talked about this, but it's sort of in the build up to Ahsoka, we think we're gonna do a sort of Rebels episode,
Dang,
and
this may be a promise we don't intend to keep, but we would.
no,
love
we
to
have
do
time.
that.
Ahsoka's not
Yeah,
on for
3
another
weeks.
couple weeks,
Yeah.
so we'll need to do another
I
episode.
very
before
would
then.
love to do it. I really hope we do.
Yeah. So if you haven't watched the TV show Rebels and you've got time on your hands right now,
This is basically us forcing you to do it.
Yeah, you can
Pre-
stream it on Disney Plus.
pre
It's all there.
Ahsoka, I would definitely think that it will enhance your viewing
Easily.
of this new series.
Easily.
Lots of characters that you will meet in Rebels and grow to love and care about will be making their way onto the Ahsoka
And I
series.
believe
So-
Dave Filoni has he's made it pretty clear. Like he was like, I'll make it easy on you, basically, and he kind of like named the episodes that you should even like watch from Rebels, so that like,
Yeah,
at least you
Ashley
have
Eckstein did the
some-
same thing. She kind
Okay.
of put together a list of.
watch this pre.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
like,
super smart.
If
Yeah, so we're just
anything-
gonna
if
we're just
anything at
basically
all-
gonna gush about Rebels and
yeah.
bring up some plot points that we think potentially might be leading into this Ahsoka show. So
Yeah. Oh yeah, and I just started playing because I've been very much into like Zelda world and video game land. But I'm finally getting into Star Wars Jedi Survivor, the sequel to Jedi
Fallen Order.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking sick.
Are you playing it, Dino? Did you play
I'm
it?
not. I
No.
don't have the PS5.
That's right, it's an exclusive. Oh no.
Or it's. I think it's out for PS4, and it was a late release on PS4, and I haven't.
Oh my
downloaded
god, well
it.
get on it now.
Yes,
Get on it.
For goodness
I'm.
sakes.
I'm debating buying the damn thing, the
Yeah,
Just get it.
PS5. But
You know you want it.
that's how they get you.
I know
It's gonna play NBA all day and night.
it looks so pretty on your machine.
It
Yeah.
does. It does, doesn't it? Anyway.
Well, I'm about to boil to death in my closet, so I think we should
Well,
say
then
goodbye
let's
to
keep
each other.
talking. Let's
Yeah.
give it another 10 minutes,
Yeah, maybe a
and
couple
Ah.
she
minutes.
nice and medium well.
I'm already toasty. I was painted green and yelling at children all day, so I'm very
Excellent.
toasty.
Good.
Well, that about wraps it up for Secret Invasion.
Don't
let
forget
us
to like and
know-
Move
subscribe.
along. Move
Let
along.
us know your thoughts and feelings if you care to,
Oh, please do.
and
I
we'll be
care.
back. We'll be back real soon with that Rebels retrospective. That's
Woo,
what
woo,
that's
woo.
what we should
Oh,
call
Rebels
that's
retrospective.
Retro
Yeah.
Rebels Retro.
it. Rebel. Yeah, this is Inside the Tauntaun. I'm Melissa Simmons.
And I'm Daniel Dawson.
And I'm Dino Nicandros.
May the Force be with you.
Always.
See ya.
Inside the Tauntaun podcast. Please like and subscribe.